CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday, April 23rd. One person was taken to hospital following a house fire yesterday in Elliott Lake. It happened in the 100 block of West Hill Road just before 11 a.m. Crews say they were able to put out the fire quickly. Two family pets were lost and the home has extensive smoke damage. No word yet on a cause. Almost $69,000 in drugs were seized as part of an ongoing investigation by Sudbury police. The Drug Enforcement Unit says warrants were executed for locations on St. Anne's Road and Louis Street. During the search of the St. Anne's residence, police found cocaine, fentanyl, other drugs, and cash. Two men were arrested for trafficking and other charges. No drugs were found at the Louis Street location. However, two people in the residence were wanted on outstanding warrants. Now to the weather and slightly cooler temperatures on this Thursday and more cloud cover for the latest. Let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Tony, we actually had a smidgen of precipitation earlier this morning around 10, 11 o'clock in Greater Sudbury at least, and throughout several other areas. We do have some precipitation approaching the northeast right now. Our systems map, courtesy of CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. Let's have a look right now. It should affect us by about, let's say, mid-afternoon, mid to late afternoon around supper time, infringing in on 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening across the northeast. Snow to the north, by the way. We'll have some details coming up a little bit later on. Tony?
Thanks for that, Rick. The North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority has issued a flood warning for the Lake Nipissing shoreline in North Bay and Callander. Water is slowly rising on Lake Nipissing, and the Conservation Authority says significant snowpack remains in the northern areas of the watershed. Right now, the lake is about 36 centimeters below the highest daily average recorded in 2019, a year that also saw flooding. The Conservation Authority is expecting little rain, allowing water to drain through the watershed, which leads to a drop in local creeks and rivers.
If we continue to have a dry period of time, this water can drain. The snow that's still in the northern reaches of the Lake Nipissing watershed can continue to melt without additional moisture from rainfall, and that'll be good.
The Conservation Authority has also issued a flood watch for the Mattawa River downstream of the Herdman Dam. And we're getting a look at the dam and Sturgeon River in Sturgeon Falls tonight, courtesy of Neil Brown. The dam is mostly open to allow water through from the northern end of the watershed. Flooding is creating problems for residents, with several road closures still in effect north of Sturgeon Falls. Infield, Highway 64, Leduc Road, Prieur Street, and Ashburton Road are all closed, along with LaPointe Road in Crystal Falls. Flood warnings and a state of emergency remain in effect for those areas. Meanwhile, some in French River are seeing water levels drop, while others are seeing them rise. Peter Rysdale and his family have owned Misha Falls cottages on Dry Pine Bay since he was a small boy.
Well, as you can see, the water is extremely high. I think we've only had this one other year in 2019. There's really not much we can do about it. Our property's not really sandbaggable, and we just deal with it. And whatever gets ruined in the high water, we fix.
The Rysdales estimate water is up at least a foot, likely more, and has swallowed up some property alongside their work shed. Equipment had to be removed from the shed after water got under the floor. Other parts of French River have noticed a drop in water levels, but officials are still urging people to be prepared. A lot of the water the municipality will see still has to make its way down from Lake Nipissing. The township of Billings on Manitoulin Island is still under a state of emergency, but can breathe a little easier. According to Mayor Brian Barker, water levels have subsided since last week when the state of emergency was declared. A few homes had to be evacuated due to rising water, and those people have not returned to their homes yet. The mayor says area roads have been temporarily repaired, but proper repairs will still need to be done after water levels are back to normal.
What is still very, very critical is the river below Bridalveil Falls. It's very, very dangerous. Most of our tourist trails have been washed away or severely damaged, and there's still quite a bit of high water and flooding and dangerous currents down there. So we're asking people to still be respectful and, pay attention to our no trespassing signs and, stay out of that area.
That closure is expected to last through the smelt season and it could impact the upcoming tourist season. The falls are a major attraction for the area, and Barker says they don't know yet the condition of the tourist trails or if they'll be usable this season. The mayor adds the state of emergency won't be lifted until water levels have subsided and the township can assess the damage from the flooding. All right, it's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, we're heading to the mouth of the Michipicoten River that flows into Lake Superior. This live webcam is courtesy of the municipality of Wawa. It's 12 degrees. We will return in just a few minutes.
Pure Country 91.7. Sudbury's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
Interesting weather for the next couple of days in Northeastern Ontario, depending on where you live. Forecast radar, according to Environment Canada, we've got a system moving in by summertime Friday, early evening Friday, so some snow to the north, but really not affecting the areas in which we reside in, maybe far north, and some precipitation to the south. Sudbury Nickel Belt, your numbers mainly sunny for tomorrow at 10, 13 on Saturday, chance of showers. Here's where that precipitation moves in. Sunday, we've got 16, 17 Monday, sunny skies. Tuesday, chance of rain at 40% and 11. How about Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mainly sunny tomorrow at 11. Another 11-degree day on Saturday, chance of showers. Sun and cloud Sunday, 15, 14 Monday, sun and cloud. Nice streak going there. Periods of rain come Tuesday with a high of only 9. Meanwhile, at Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, sunny skies for tomorrow at 10, 12 degrees on Saturday, sun and cloud. Sunday, 16 degrees. It's a nice number. It gets even better on Monday, sun and cloud at 17 degrees, way above normal. And Tuesday, chance of rain at 40% with a high of 12. Even your evening temperatures are somewhat spring-like. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. 5-day forecast calling for sunny skies tomorrow at 10. 13 Saturday, some sun and clouds. Sunshine Sunday, 16, going all the way up to 18 come Monday. And again, 40% chance of rain come Tuesday at 13. That's pretty well a copy and paste forecast throughout the Northeast come Tuesday. Most areas are calling for rain at 40%, so brace for that system to move in. How about North Bay, West Nipissing? Mainly sunny for tomorrow at 12. 13 on Saturday, some sun and clouds. Sunday, how about lots of sunshine at 16, going all the way up to 18 on Monday. More sunshine there. And again, come Tuesday, as I just said, 40% chance of rain with an expected high of 12. So, Tony, a little bit of precipitation moving in. Looks like Tuesday will be really the day. Chance of rain at 40%. So we still have lots of sunshine. And as you requested earlier this week, some warmer temperatures. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. OPP have released photos of a rescue of 2 people from a flooded road last week as a reminder to steer clear of the water. Provincial police near Sault Ste. Marie were called in after 2 people got stuck in deep floodwaters on Mile 28 road just off Highway 17 in Goulet River. The road was washed out and the vehicle quickly became submerged. The 2 occupants climbed out on the roof of the truck and were rescued by Goulet River Fire and Rescue and Search and Rescue. Police are reminding everyone to stay off flooded and closed roads as the conditions could worsen or the road beneath the floodwater could be deteriorated. A fixture in Sudbury's Dunavan neighborhood for nearly a century is preparing to close its doors. All People's United Church will hold its final service this weekend, marking the end of a 97-year chapter. CTV's Amanda Hicks has the story.
A lot of history in 97 years, that's for sure.
Photos, news clippings, and decades of memories are spread out at Sudbury's All People's United Church. As the congregation prepares for Saturday, they are reflecting on a legacy that began in the 1920s. Mona Campbell has been a part of the church for 65 years, a place where she said "I do" and where her children were baptized.
Well, you have all kinds of emotions. At my age, I'm kind of looking forward to relaxing a little bit and not being so involved and so on. But it's sad also.
The decision to close was a difficult one. Officials say low attendance, changing neighborhood demographics, and an aging congregation made sustaining the facility impossible.
We're down to less than 10 people, and they're a dedicated group. They're a very loving group. They work really hard, but they're tired. And, you know, what can you do? This is the challenge of life. And many churches are going through these things that they need to finally accept that it's time to move on.
This church has always known how to rebuild. After a devastating fire in the 1940s, the community rallied to ensure the doors would reopen. For Chipka, the church was the setting for his earliest milestones, including being asked to read scripture when he was 8 years old.
Everybody came up, shook my hand, patted me on the back. I felt really good, so it's a real sense of family. And I think that to me says a lot about what church is, or any group, where people get together and share their lives.
The final service will be held this Saturday at 11 a.m. Chipka says while the building will eventually be put up for sale, the congregation hopes a new mission will find a home here to carry the legacy into the future. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
They want it to stop. Coming up on CTV News at 5, parents in a greater Sudbury community don't like the renovation plans at their local school. Those Northerners dealing with damaged property due to flooding are also navigating the insurance process as they file claims. We get the details now from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
As the repair and rebuilding process begins, we will be continue to keep everybody updated. But as for now, that's all we have to tell you.
We met Adam Smith last week when he was working to keep the main level of his business from flooding. Excess creek water overflowed into the streets in Mindamoya.
We actually went so far as to start removing some sandbags today, so that's a step in the right direction. Every day is an improvement, and the cleanup process has started.
Smith says the most impacted was the basement at Jake's Home Center, where floodwater destroyed hundreds of thousands of dollars of product being stored there. Smith met with an insurance adjuster today who assessed the damage and made a plan moving forward.
And to see some of the challenges that we particularly face here, because we're not half an hour away from a major center. So a lot of the decisions are being made in places that don't really know where Manitoulin Island is. So they've got to be able to kind of show that logistics are a little bit more challenging.
It's unclear when the insurance claim could be paid out.
We're still in the early stages, even just figuring out what's salvageable, what's not salvageable. So it'll be a while.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says it won't know for another month how many insurance claims could be filed connected to spring flooding in Ontario. But the Director of Consumer Relations advises flood victims to record all damages and keep all receipts connected to cleanup.
The more information that you can provide your insurance company about your situation, whether that's photographs, video, receipts, all of that sort of information, the more quickly an insurance company can settle your claim.
Smith says he's optimistic about the situation, saying anything destroyed by the flooding can be replaced. And he's appreciative of all the help he's received from the Mindamoya and Manitoulin community. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Parents in Levack are expressing concerns surrounding the right-sizing of Levack Public School that could see an entire wing demolished. A petition has been launched in hopes of halting the plans. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Dana Littlejohn is the parent council chair at Levack Public School. She says when students left last June, they expected to return to yard improvements, but didn't.
The answer was we're due to be right-sized. And so because we're due to be right-sized, no other upgrades can occur until we're right-sized.
According to a letter sent to parents by the Rainbow District School Board, the board approved a motion in 2019 to right-size the school, pending Ministry of Education approval. Levack Public School is currently operating at 39% capacity. The school, which was built as a high school, is able to accommodate 351 students, but enrollment is currently below 135. Littlejohn says the proposed demolition would see an entire wing of the school taken down.
Our school's kind of an odd shape, so it creates a square, and then there's this little wing that branches off of it. But in the main of our rectangle, we have a full-size staff lounge because it was a high school. We have a full-size cafeteria, full-size gym, full-size library. It's not a lot of classroom real estate that would be left.
CTV reached out to Magic Triangle, which operates the daycare based in the school, for comment, but did not receive a response. The Ministry of Education also received multiple requests from our newsroom that went unanswered.
Lots of our community had no idea that our school is even on proposed right-sizing, which was kind of unfortunate.
Littlejohn says she has started a petition that Nickel Belt MPP France Gélina will bring to the Legislative Assembly in early May. The petition, which already has over 400 signatures, urges the government and the board to halt any right-sizing or demolition plans and to support the continuation of previously planned school repairs, upgrades, and capital work. The letter from the board also says no work is scheduled to take place this school year. At this time, discussions with the ministry are ongoing. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Officials at the Humane Society in North Bay say they have too many kittens. The Humane Society is looking for more people to adopt a new feline into their home. Cat and kitten season is challenging for the shelter because there's a shortage of accessible and affordable spay and neuter services in the north. The Humane Society normally cares for 20 to 30 kittens on top of all of its adult cats. Officials say the animals often come in with respiratory concerns and parasites. They add down the line, foster homes and forever homes are needed. We now have a new NOJHL champion. For the third straight season, the Sudbury Cubs are the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League champions. The Timmins Rock putting up a valiant effort at the MAC, pushing Game 4 to overtime, but the Cubs would punch their ticket to the Centennial Cup. Another level of authentication for dating apps when we return our weekly Tech Talk segment. You're watching First at 5. Head of a big tech company is moving on. To tell us more about that and other technology news, let's bring in cybersecurity and tech analyst Ritesh Kotak. He joins us from Toronto. Hi there, Ritesh.
Hello.
Apple CEO Tim Cook is stepping down. What do you make of his decision?
I think it's the right decision at the right time. So he's not completely stepping down from Apple. In fact, he will be joining the board and focusing on addressing the different policy issues that Apple is facing around the world, just like any other tech company. But it's really interesting to know that his replacement, John Turnus, is a longtime Apple employee. He was head of engineering, worked on some of the most iconic product developments of what Apple has been known for. And I think that this is going to be a breath of fresh air. Apple has been criticized for not keeping up in the AI game or having the latest launch. So I think he's going to be focusing a lot on this. And overall, I think that this is the right move, and it was expected.
Okay, smart glasses were used to capture login credentials as part of a $500,000 fraud case. Tell us more.
Yeah, this is a very interesting story, and it actually led to several arrests as well. Individuals were using these smart glasses within the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, and what they were doing was essentially going to these self-checkouts and getting a clerk to come up and say, look, we want to load these gift cards, or we're having issues with these gift cards. And the clerk would go and put in their PIN and go through a process. Well, these glasses would capture exactly what was being done, relay that to individuals who would then go and essentially repeat the exact same methodology. And over $500,000 of fraud was unearthed. There's probably that number might actually go up, and it just goes to show that the technology advances. Fraudsters are going to figure out a way to weaponize it. Yes, there's going to be a light on some of these cameras on these phone glasses if they're recording, but there are ways of disabling that. There's other makers out there, and this is just the way we're going to have to address technology in the 21st century.
Okay, let's move on. A dating site, Tinder, is offering proof of humanity eye scans to combat AI. How would this work?
Look, first off, if you get on these dating sites and you think you found the love of your life, but it just turns out you're a catfish by artificial intelligence, and this is a growing problem, and a problem that a lot of people that I know have actually dealt with. Am I talking to a human being, or am I talking to a bot? Is this too good to be true, or have I found the love of my life? So what they're doing is leveraging artificial intelligence to verify if an individual is legitimate or not. This will be done through eye tracking and eye scans. And if you are legitimate, guess what? You get a badge on your account that says you are human, proof of humanity. And it's not just Tinder and these dating sites that are doing it. We're seeing this with Zoom and other applications as well. But I guess this is what dating in the 21st century looks like. Am I dating a human, or am I dating a bot?
Ritesh, always appreciate your time and your insights. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ritesh Kotak joined us from Toronto. And to see more of our Tech Talk segments, don't forget, head to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. Our first community close-up is from Sault Ste. Marie. Irene Pozo sent us a picture. She says during a sunny day in the city, she spotted crocuses that attracted insects to pollinate the flowers. Thanks so much, Irene. Let's go to Swastika near Kirkland Lake. Raymond Bourgeois emailed us these pictures. She says a sure sign of spring with 2 robins in her yard lately. You're right. So nice to see the robins. Thanks so much, Raymond. And let's go to Levine, south of Verner in West Nipissing. Diane Rayo and family recently went to the Sagan Sugar Bush and they tried the maple taffy. Sure looks good, doesn't it? Thanks, Diane. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can always email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.